I've always been careful about ride shares. I check the plate, the name, the face, all of it. I share my ETA with my sister. I sit in the back seat behind the driver's shoulder, not directly behind him, so I can watch his hands on the wheel and his eyes in the mirror. It doesn't matter. You can do everything right and still end up being stupidly close to dying. That night started normal. It was a Thursday. I'd stayed late at work finishing invoices because my boss dumped last-minute stuff on me. By the time I clocked out, it was after 10 p.m. My car had been in the shop all week, so I ordered a ride like I'd been doing every night. App says, Tony, gray Honda Civic, plate 8TRX291. He pulls up exactly where it says, hazard lights blinking. The car matches, the plate matches. He looks older than his profile picture, maybe late 30s, a little heavier, beard patchier, but that's not unusual. People don't update profile pics. I get in. He glances back and gives a small smile. Hey, Emily. His voice is calm, friendly. I nod. Yeah, that's me. The route pulls up on his phone. He taps start. I'm half dead from work, scrolling Instagram, not paying attention. About 5 minutes in, I realize we're not taking the usual way. Normally, drivers get on the main road, pass the gas station, and turn onto my street with the crappy potholes. We're cutting deeper into residential streets instead. I look up, glance at his GPS. It's turned away from me more than usual. Is that the fastest way? I ask. I try to make it light, like I'm not accusing him of anything. He doesn't answer right away, and I watch his throat tighten. Yeah, he says finally. There's some construction near the main intersection, app rerouted. I hadn't seen any construction when I walked out of work, but I let it go. I start checking street names. They're not familiar. I zoom in on my own app and feel my stomach drop. The little car icon is moving further away from my apartment complex. Hey, it says we're going the wrong way, I tell him. He glances in the rear view. His eyes meet mine for a second too long, then drop back to the road. The app glitches sometimes, he says. Don't worry, I know a faster way. That's the exact sentence every girl hears in every warning video. I go cold. My thumb slides onto the emergency button on the rideshare app. Can you please just follow the route on my app? I say, louder this time. My sister's tracking me. I want him to know that if he tries anything, someone will notice. He laughs once, low and short. Relax. I'm just avoiding traffic. There is no traffic. The streets are dead. We're in an unfamiliar neighborhood now, houses further apart, fewer streetlights. I notice his phone screen is actually dark. The app isn't even running. I'm suddenly hyper-aware of how quiet the car is, how the doors auto-locked when we started moving, how the child lock might be on. If you don't turn back to the route, I'm getting out at the next light, I say. My voice cracks. He hears it. We're almost there, he says. He speeds up. No more pretending. My hands start shaking. I hit the emergency button on my app and it dials 911 automatically. Before it connects, he reaches over and locks the window switch. I hear the soft click. What are you doing? I demand. He doesn't answer. I don't wait. I scream at the top of my lungs, hoping someone, anyone, is outside. I slam my palm against the window. Stop the car, or I'm going to jump at the next stop. I don't know if I'd actually do it, but I need him to believe I will. Then the 911 call connects. The dispatcher answers, and I don't even let her finish. I blurt, I'm in a ride share. He's not following the route. I think I'm being kidnapped. The car is a gray Honda Civic plate 8TRX291. I'm in... I look at my location on the app and read out the street name and nearest cross street so fast I almost choke on it. We have your GPS, the dispatcher says, voice suddenly firm and awake. Stay on the line. Do not hang up. Sir, we hear you. Pull the car over immediately. Police are being dispatched. She's talking loudly, like she wants him to hear her too. He does. His face in the mirror changes. The friendly mask is gone, just dead. Irritated eyes like I'm a nuisance. For a second, I think he's going to keep driving anyway. Then he slams the brakes. My seatbelt digs into my chest. The car skids to the side of the road, tires screeching. "Get out," he snaps. No more fake calm. I don't hesitate. I yank the handle. The door opens. Thank God the child lock wasn't on. I almost fall out of the car, scraping my knee on the pavement. I stumble away from the door, phone pressed to my ear, heart beating so loud I can barely hear the dispatcher. I'm out, he stopped, I gasp. The driver revs the engine. I think he's going to speed off. Instead, he creeps forward, window halfway down. You're overreacting, he says. You city girls are all the same, drama queens. His tone is full of contempt. Then he drives off, not fast like he doesn't feel rushed, like he's confident nothing will happen to him. The police arrive 10 minutes later. They take my statement, file a report, say all the "we'll investigate" lines. The rideshare company deactivates his account while they review the incident. They're very sorry. They refund my fare. They give me a coupon for a free future ride, like nearly dying is worth 10% off. You'd think that would be it. A horrible scare, but over. Except a week later, my sister sends me a screenshot. Is this your guy? She texts. It's a different rideshare app. Different name. Same face. Just under a new profile picture. Different car. No background check catches someone who hasn't been convicted. No system flags. Guy who drove a girl 15 minutes in the wrong direction and locked her windows. He's free to drive whoever he wants. I report him to the new app. They say they'll look into it. I stop using ride shares completely. I start begging my coworkers for rides, leaving early, taking the bus, walking more. I think maybe if I change my routines enough, he won't find me. Then one night, I'm coming home from the grocery store. It's around 9 p.m., the parking lot mostly empty. I'm loading bags into the trunk of my car when a gray Honda, not the same plate, but same model, slowly rolls past the row I'm in. I freeze watching. The car's windows are tinted too dark for me to see inside. It doesn't stop, just circles once around the lot and then exits. That could have been anyone. I tell myself I'm being paranoid. But a few days later, I find a business card tucked under my windshield wiper. It's blank on one side. On the other, written in messy block letters, "You should be more grateful I let you go." No phone number, no name. Just that. The security cameras in the lot? Unfortunately, the relevant camera was down that night. The officer I show the card to shrugs and tells me to be cautious, like I haven't already changed my entire life around being cautious. I move apartments 2 months later to a different part of the city. I pay more in rent for a building with cameras, gated parking, key fobs, all of it. I stop going out late. I double-check locks obsessively. I convince myself I've overreacted, that maybe the card was someone's sick idea of a joke. Then last month, I got an email from the rideshare company, the original one. "We're always improving your experience," it says. Underneath is the survey question. "How was your recent ride with Tony?" And there's the same face again, same man, same name, now with 5 stars from some other woman, smiling casually, like he's just another driver trying to earn a living. The timestamp shows the ride ended 3 blocks from my new apartment. I moved into my apartment last spring because it was affordable, quiet, and close to work. The hallway on my floor was shaped like a long L, with my unit being the second to last before the bin. The only person past me was the guy in 4-H. I didn't know his name, and for the first month he barely acknowledged me. Anytime we crossed paths, he just nodded, kept his head down, and carried whatever food or packages he had. Nothing about him came off dangerous. If anything, he seemed like the type who avoided people, the kind of neighbor who preferred you pretend he didn't exist. The first weird moment happened on a night I got home late. I was unlocking my door when I heard a soft click behind me. Not loud, more like something metallic being shifted. I turned around and didn't see anything except the hallway camera mounted in the corner by the fire exit. I figured it was resetting or something. I went inside and forgot about it. 2 mornings later, I found something on my doormat. It was a small piece of white tape stuck down on one side, with tiny handwriting on it that said 10:14. No context, no explanation, just a time. It was so random I assumed some kids in the building were messing around, so I threw it out. That night, there was another piece of tape. This one said 10:16. I didn't like how specific the times were, so I asked the building manager about it. She brushed it off immediately and said someone must be marking boxes or furniture and dropped these by accident. Except they were placed perfectly straight on my mat, not crumpled or stepped on like something someone dropped. The third night it appeared, I waited until the hallway was dead silent and looked through the peephole. No movement. I opened my door fast, and nothing was there. But when I looked up, I noticed something that made my stomach twist. The hallway camera, the one mounted in the corner, was angled lower than usual, pointing almost directly at my door instead of the general hallway. The next morning, there was no tape. Instead, a printed photo was tucked into my doorframe. It was a still image taken from that hallway camera, and it showed me unlocking my door the night before. The timestamp at the bottom matched the moment I'd stepped out to look. Someone printed footage from the security camera and left it for me. I marched straight to the office with the photo, and the manager swore she didn't pull the footage. She said only the security company had access to the full system. She promised to call them, but she didn't sound urgent about it. That night, I barely slept. Every time I heard footsteps on the floor above me or a door open somewhere down the hall, I was up scanning the peephole. Then, around 2:30 a.m., someone knocked 3 slow times. I froze, grabbed my phone, and crept toward the door. I didn't open it. I didn't even speak. I just looked through the peephole. The hallway was empty, completely empty. And as I watched, the hallway camera above the exit door twitched, like someone had just adjusted it out of frame. I backed away immediately. The next day I bought one of those little stick-on door cameras from Amazon and put it up before heading to work. When I got home that night, I checked the footage first thing. At 11:47 a.m., hours before I came home, the camera caught someone crouched by my door for about 20 seconds. They weren't trying to break in. They were holding their phone up like they were taking a picture or recording something by my lock. Even with the low-quality video, I could tell exactly who it was, the guy from 4-H. Same jacket, same haircut, same build. When the building manager finally emailed me back, she said the security company reviewed the hallway camera logs and found no unusual activity. I knew that was bullshit because I'd watched the hallway camera literally move by itself and because I had footage of him outside my door. I showed the manager my clip and her face completely changed. She said she'd talked to him, but before she could even finish the sentence, I told her absolutely not. I didn't want him knowing I recorded him. I started making plans to break my lease. I packed slowly, just in case. Then, last Thursday, everything escalated. I came home early because my boss let everyone out for weather. When I stepped off the elevator, I noticed something different the second I turned the corner. The hallway camera, the big one mounted high, had been replaced. Same shape, same dome design, but the wire running from it wasn't tucked neatly into the wall anymore. Instead, it hung downward, leading into the doorframe of 4-H, meaning the camera wasn't connected to the building system at all. It was plugged into his apartment. He wasn't watching the hallway. He was watching me. Every time I walked to my door, every time I left, every time my friends visited, all of it, I didn't wait. I went back to the elevator and left. That night, I stayed at a friend's place. The next morning, building management called and said they'd entered 4-H for a safety inspection. What they found was a small setup, a monitor, a power box, and saved clips of me walking around the hallway for months. The police got involved. They said he wasn't home and they were looking for him. I should have felt safe, but I didn't, not even close. 2 days later, when I came back to get the last of my boxes, something was taped to my door. One last piece of white tape. It didn't have a time on it. Just a short handwritten note, You shouldn't have moved the camera. I've been streaming for 3 years, mostly horror games and story-based stuff. I'm not big, maybe 80 people on a good night, but I have a small, loyal chat. It never felt dangerous. Streaming always felt safer than posting on social media because you're behind a screen, in your room, with your door locked. You feel like nobody can touch you. The first time the weird stuff happened, it didn't even register as dangerous. I was playing Outlast, and someone in chat with the username Doorframe said, "Your hall light flickered behind you." I thought it was a troll. Everyone jokes about seeing stuff behind streamers, except the hall light did flicker. I'd noticed it earlier that day. I joked back and kept playing. A few minutes later, they wrote, "You left your back window unlocked again." That one made me pause. My apartment has one window behind my setup, and I'd closed it earlier, but I couldn't remember if I locked it. I brushed it off as someone guessing. They kept making comments like that over the next hour, and then disappeared. That night, I checked the VOD out of curiosity. Around the moment they mentioned the back window, you could see a faint reflection in my monitor, like something moved near the blinds. I assumed it was my own movement, or a trick of the LED lighting. Nothing else happened for about 2 weeks. Then, the username came back. Doorframe. They typed only one message. "You should deadbolt your door before you start." I muted chat and got up to check the door. The deadbolt was already on. I said that out loud, half laughing. The user typed again. "No, the top lock. The one you forget sometimes." I ended the stream early. The next day, I bought a little wireless camera for my living room and set it to send notifications whenever it detected movement. I didn't tell my chat, but I felt better having it. The next stream was a Friday night, and things were normal for most of it. Around midnight, while fighting some boss in-game, I got a notification on my phone. "Living room camera, motion detected." My heart jumped. I tried to keep playing like nothing was wrong because I didn't want my chat to panic. I opened the camera feed on my second monitor behind the game window. Nothing was happening. Just my empty couch and the TV that I hadn't turned on all week. A few minutes later, the same notification popped up. I checked again. Nothing. Third time it went off. I ended the stream immediately. I walked through the apartment with a knife in my hand, even though I knew I wasn't brave or strong enough to actually use it. Nothing seemed out of place. The next morning, I reviewed the camera footage. At exactly 12:04 a.m., the first alert, a silhouette passed quickly across the far wall, like someone walked between the camera and my kitchen. You couldn't see details, just movement. I called the police. They came, checked everything, said there was no sign of entry, no footprints outside the windows, no tampering on the locks. They told me it was probably a shadow or a reflection. I knew it wasn't. 2 nights later, things escalated. I was streaming again. Stupid, I know. And someone with a new username spoke in chat. "Above you now," they typed. "Do you like the new hiding spot?" Everyone thought it was a troll. I tried to ignore it. Then they wrote, "Don't turn around." My blood ran cold. I kept my face forward, but my eyes drifted to the side of the screen where my reflection faintly showed in the monitor. In the reflection, behind me, the attic panel in my hallway ceiling was slightly open. I didn't even know the building had attic crawl spaces. It wasn't open earlier, that I was sure of. I ended the stream without explanation and stood up. I forced myself to walk slowly toward the hallway. The panel was definitely cracked open. Not far, maybe 3 inches. Just enough for someone to have pushed it up and lowered it, or to be watching. I called the police again. This time they took it seriously. They checked the crawl space. There were signs someone had been inside. Flattened insulation, small food wrappers, a blanket, and a cheap power bank. The officer asked me if anyone had a key to my place. I said no. Forensics dusted the area but didn't find prints they could use. They told me to stay with someone else until they figured out more. I stayed at my sister's house for 3 days. When I finally went home with the police escort to grab some things, I found something on my desk chair. A piece of paper, folded cleanly, no handwriting, just a printed screenshot. It was from one of my own streams. The angle wasn't from my webcam. It was from above, looking down at me from the attic opening before I ever noticed it was there. And in the corner of the screenshot, barely visible, was a shadow of someone's hand holding the camera. At the bottom, the same username was printed, "Above you now." And under it, a typed message. "You talk too much when you play. I liked watching you more when you didn't know.